Good morning. Good morning and welcome to today's meditation. I'm so happy to be feeling well and being able to actually be here today. The last week was a difficult week for me. Nothing Nothing life-threatening, but I had some dental work done a little more than a week ago, which was supposed to be an easy thing and nothing, and it turned out to be quite something. And I'm telling you all of this because it made me realize once again what happens when I am not feeling well. What happens when I'm being challenged, and it can be a physical issue like I had this past week, or it could be an emotional issue like many of us have been having for weeks now. But all of this goes back to this sense that when we're not feeling well, emotionally or physically, when we are facing a challenge in our everyday lives, and I think we all have been facing a challenge in our everyday life, it is a way for us to examine ourselves in a different way. And I've examined this issue before here in meditation. How do we show up in challenging times? But this is a different aspect of this same concept. So I know for me, this past week, I was certainly more impatient. I was in a lot of pain. I wasn't sleeping well. I wasn't feeling well. And what I find myself doing when I find my mind going into is this accounting process. Who is doing what for whom? What effort is being made on my behalf? Veering away from my usual state of unattached generosity. And I was asking myself, what is the real me? Is the real me, is my true nature, the one that is generous, kind, loving, doing for others in a way that is simply second nature to me? Or is the real me the one that shows up during challenging times, more cranky, less loving, more attached to outcome? And from this perspective of who am I, maybe taking the bigger perspective of what is I? What is the self? What is the ego? Some of you know I'm in a 2-year program for Buddhist chaplaincy through Upaya Zen Center in New Mexico. And one of the things that we are now working on and contemplating are the Buddhist precepts. And this is not the place for the teaching, but it is the place to mention this idea of Buddha nature. What is Buddha nature? So today's meditation is an exploration of what is our true nature. And I believe that our true nature is that kindness, loving heart. The baby that comes into the world is pure love. Yes, we collect experiences afterwards, some beneficial ones and some perhaps traumatic ones that can or cannot be beneficial depending on how we experienced and processed those situations. But we start with pure love. And if I'm correct, perhaps, and this is our true nature, a generous, loving spirit, then how do we come back to that, to our true nature, when times are difficult, when things are tough? So I'm happy you're here with me now, or perhaps listening later, taking this journey with me, participating in my explorations and your explorations. And I invite you to find a comfortable position and then gently close your eyes. Soon the bell will sound, indicating that today's practice is beginning. Perhaps adjust your body so you are 20% even more comfortable. Bringing the attention to where your body connects with the surface on which you are lying or sitting down. And then shifting the awareness and bringing it to the breath as it is, becoming the breath detective. Where do you notice your breath the most? Perhaps in the rise and fall of the chest, or perhaps you're noticing the air as it comes through the nostrils or the mouth. Simply resting the awareness there, allowing the mind to quiet down. I invite you to take a deep breath in and out, perhaps a count of 4, a slow 4. In and out. Inviting the nervous system into relaxation. Let's scan the body, beginning with the feet, and wherever the awareness rests, an invitation for relaxation. The soles of the feet, the arches, the toes releasing, the ankles relaxing, letting relaxation move upwards as you notice the lower legs, the knees, the back of the knees releasing, the upper legs, a softening, as relaxation engulfs the pelvis area, Perhaps a sinking into the surface on which you're sitting or lying. The abdomen and lower back releasing. The chest and upper back. Each in-breath invites even more relaxation. Each out-breath spreads relaxation throughout the body, while the mind remains focused in relaxation. Bringing the attention to the shoulders and sending waves of relaxation from your shoulders down your arms all the way to your fingertips. Notice the throat, the neck is softening and opening, allowing the face muscles even more relaxation, the jaws loosening, perhaps a gentle parting of the lips. From the top of your head, send a wave of relaxation all the way to your toes. As you find yourself comfortable in relaxation, invite the mind to notice this inquiry. What is my true nature? What is my true nature? What are the qualities that you see in yourself that you value? The qualities that allow you to show up in the world in a manner that you appreciate, that you endorse. Take a moment for this inquiry. And you may find as you reflect on this question that what comes up for you often reflects your pure heart, your values, your most benevolent intentions. What is my true nature? Perhaps hold this in the center of your heart like a small flame. Beautiful. And allow it to continue shine a light there as we explore further. Perhaps inquire now what takes place when you are challenged, when things are difficult, internally, externally, or both. What do you notice? This is an invitation for an observation, not a reprimand. Simply observing. Perhaps you bring in your mind a recent difficulty in relationships, in connection with others, and simply observe where your mind goes. What shows up for you when things are not going well? Take a moment. Perhaps all of these expressions are you. And yet, can you notice what feels better? What feels right for you? If you could choose at any given time, would you choose going back to that beautiful flame in your heart, to your loving kindness? Which aspect is your true nature? What are you choosing to step into? Because it simply feels so much better. I invite you into the house of your mind. Perhaps imagine yourself, you're standing in a room. The room is stark. The colors are dark. but there is something appealing, something that feels familiar. Perhaps you notice emotions come up, perhaps resentment, anger, perhaps sadness. All are familiar to you. You have known them for years. And yet something calls to you. There is a large wall closet, and you open the doors and you step inside, and as you close the doors behind you and touch the back where should have been a wall, there is a softness, an opening. You're curious, and you simply step through the softness, and you find yourself in the most spectacular of gardens, a garden of your creation. Perhaps you like a wild kind of garden. Perhaps you prefer a manicured rose garden. It is your garden. Perhaps the sun is shining bright. Perhaps some clouds. The birds are singing. Sound of water flowing in a fountain or in a stream. And you can feel that flame in your heart expand. A different feeling washes all over you. It feels like coming back home. A sense of safety in your own skin. There are other people there. Some you haven't seen for years, others perhaps you saw just the other day. There are no words, simply a shared experience, a smile, a nod, a gesture. You see people perhaps you had a conflict with, a difficulty, recent or a long time ago, and you remember it, and yet your heart is full of loving kindness. It feels so wonderful. Coming back to your heart, recognizing the garden all around you is a creation of your mind, always available to you. As you walk through the garden, a realization. This is your true nature. Coming back to your heart. All others are distractions, meanderings, places in the shadows. Yes, they are also relevant to your life. Many lessons rest in the shadows. And yet, there is a choice for you to be made at any given moment. Coming back to the beautiful flame of love in your heart, to the garden in your mind, coming back to your true nature. Take a moment and notice. Let this be your inquiry. How does it feel? Coming back to your true nature. Coming back to your heart. Can you make a promise to yourself to remember your garden? Can you vow to come back to your heart, to loving kindness? Learning from the dark moments, from the shadows, and bringing yourself again and again into the light, into your true nature. An invitation from you to yourself. As you return your awareness to your breath as it is, simply a moment of resting in reflection. Soon the bell will sound, indicating the completion of today's practice of reflection in relaxation. You can bring gentle movement into the body or simply remain as you are, taking some more time for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me for tuning in, for participating in the practice. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or your evening, depending of where you are in the world. And we will see each other soon. For now, goodbye. Namaste.